Okay. Avni, please don't pin me because then this people actually gets into the other screen and I cannot see a lot of people then.
Okay, great, Swati. So here
Can
I'll
you please? Thank you so much. Can you please switch on your cameras? A lot of people told me yesterday that they would be decked up today and they would be on the camera today. So I hope that you would be there on camera for the whole day. Hi, Ashima.
Hi, Swati.
Janet, is it your first class by any chance?
Yes, Swati, Janet has today is the first session she has joined, as she was also facing the problem in joining the session. So today a lot of calls have been made and the process has been explained to each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we are hoping that we will be able to see a little more people today.
Sure, because I was not able to see any name Janet before, so that's the reason I asked. All right. So as you know, today we are going to have a session for 2 hours, and today okay, no problem, Sharmila. So yesterday, Avneet has told you that today we have the session for sales negotiation. So you are all set for that?
Yes.
Great. Do you have any questions related to the yesterday's session? Did you happen to had a chance to undergo any kind of reading when it comes to target market, target audience, or IDC, ICP, or buyer's persona? Did anybody had a chance to undergo any kind of readings from Google?
Can you explain me about the bias persona again?
Okay, so Ranjita, buyer's persona is basically a fictional character, first and foremost. It is very ideal prospect. Suppose you are a person who have created a product. This product could be like, say, for example, this is a bottle which you have created. Okay. Now this is a bottle for half a liter. You are the owner of this bottle. This is your product. Okay. Now it could be a manufacturing, it could be a trading, it could be anything of that. Now you get this product in hand and you have to understand who are the people who are going to buy this product from me. Now, when you create a detailed research on these kind of people, they becomes your buyer's persona. So you write from age to location to to psycho understanding to behaviorals to the income to qualifications. You will write everything about them. And how would you do that? You will research first part of it. And second part of it, you will go in the market who are already selling this kind of product. And you will ask them who are the people who are buying product for you. So based off all of these kind of understanding, you write down the list of one individual, that is buyer's persona, that this is my person who will buy it.
Yeah.
Now, this is a fictional character. So when you have decided on that particular angle, then you go in the market with that persona in the mind. Now you start approaching these kind of people. Now, once you start approaching these kind of people, they come closer to the buyer's persona. Okay, this is a person who is really buying from me. Oh, this is a shift in that list which you have written. So the one that starts creating after it becomes your ideal customer profile.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Does that solve to everyone once again? Great. So let me start the session for the day. Okay. So welcome to session 3. Now, the topic that we have today is a negotiation skills. This is a very, very familiar word that everybody knows. Is there anybody who do not know this word? Everybody knows this word. Now, if you know this word, this is something that I want to understand from you. When you hear the word called as negotiation, what picture comes to your mind?
Decreasing the price value to the customer.
Decreasing the price value to the customer. Fair. Okay, 1 point.
For
Ashima,
me, I can imagine a scale balance for some reason.
okay.
Both the parties have to come on a balance and then they agree on a particular point. This is what I can imagine.
Okay, scale balance, fair. Please participate. I would like to hear from a lot of people. Coming to term with reference to price. Okay, fair. What else?
Reasonable price.
Huh?
This product will be reasonable price.
Okay. Yes, Priya.
Customer desirable price, whatever the if
Customer-
negotiation means if the price is presented in some way, the customer will be more chance to buy the product.
Okay. Bargain for pricing product and services and basically like bargaining. Okay, fair. Now, asking you another understanding of it. Yes, somebody was saying something.
The price where the customer and the seller comes equal, that price can be said as the negotiated price, where the customer satisfied and the seller also satisfied with that price.
Okay, fair. Now, tell me one thing. You people do go to the market to purchase vegetable?
Yes.
Everybody goes.
Yes, yes,
At one point
yes,
of time, everybody has gone. So do you negotiate the price there?
Yes.
yes.
You're on.
You negotiate the price there?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you negotiate the price there or do you bargain the price there?
No.
We bargain. Or negotiate.
Okay, now what is the difference between negotiation and bargaining then? If you negotiate to a vegetable vendor, so are you negotiating or are you bargaining? If you're bargaining, what is negotiation and what is bargaining then?
Negotiation given by the seller, bargaining is done is asked by the buyer.
Okay, fair. No problem. Whatever you said was okay, great. What else? Come on. If there are two words, okay, one thing that I want to tell to everybody is that if there are two words in the dictionary of English, there has to be two different meanings to it. Otherwise, it cannot be same. So what is the difference between negotiation and bargaining?
Okay, so I have an answer. I don't know if I'm correct or not. For me, what I can imagine is when I'm bargaining, I'm just looking at my capability to pay maybe. But when I'm negotiating, I'm like both the parties are thinking for each other what suits the other party, and then maybe they're trying to come to a common point.
Yes, exactly. That is the only thing that is right, Ashima. In fact, you were wondering then bargaining and negotiating is different, but you came to a right answer. So let me retell what Ashima has just said. When you say the word called as bargaining, there are two parts. See, understand when it comes to bargaining and negotiating, always there are two parties involved, correct? Now, in the status of bargaining, the one party who is buying the stuff, who is a person who is getting the stuff, always have the agenda or always have a mindset that I should get the maximum benefit out of that particular product or a service. It could be money, it could be more deals, it could be more of extra things, it could be anything. So basically, one person is gaining more than one person is losing. That is bargaining. That is the mindset. See, both words means that you are negotiating something, or both words means you're trying to come to something. But in bargaining, there is one person who always win or has a higher advantage of anything. And in negotiating, both the parties logically tries to come to an agreement where both the parties have a proper benefit to both the things, both the parties. That's the difference. Are you able to get the difference?
Yeah.
Yes, Janet. Janet, you raise your hand. Do you have any question? Okay. So this is basically the difference between negotiating and bargaining. And that is the reason when we go to buy a vegetable in the market, we always have a bargaining skills and not the negotiating skills. At the same place, if we go and buy maybe a tiles for our house, we always negotiate. We never bargain there. Give me this also, give me that also, give me this also. We negotiate where both the people are actually coming to a point where both the parties are getting benefited out of each other. Correct? Any questions still here? Okay. Now, first thing, I would like to just read this out for you. It is a skill. Now, one thing why the specific word has been written skill is that anything where the word comes skills, this can be actually learned over a period of time. That is the reason we say communication skills, time management skills, listening skills, negotiation skills, problem solving skills, decision making skills. Anywhere the word skills come, they are pretty much that you can learn at any given point of time. So it is a skill or a quality that helps both the parties or both the people to reach to a logical agreement where both the party have a win-win situation. That is negotiation skills. Correct? Now, which are the places do we negotiate at? Basically, you name it and we negotiate. We negotiate at workplace. If suppose you are a working woman or you were a working woman, you were negotiating, okay, give me this assignment, you perform that assignment, you work, you negotiate for salary, you negotiate for hike, you negotiate for positions, whatever the negotiation would be. Asking for a raise is also a negotiation. You negotiate to your boss that I need a raise for this year. Making a case study, making a case on a project budget, if there is a budget. Even in the house also we negotiate. Now, what is the negotiation in houses? Suppose a husband has given you 20,000 rupees to run the show of your family, but you understand that this is not how it is taken care also. So you understand, you tell him the budget and you say, let's negotiate that you have, if you say 30, he says, let's come on 25. And then you have a win-win situation. Even he is not shelling out too much money from his pocket. Neither you are deprived of that money to run the house. You are negotiating because both the parties, even the husband and wife, has been negotiating to take care of the home rightly. Are you getting? So you negotiate at change, you negotiate at solving a dispute, buying assets, equipments, finalizing sales with the client. You name it. Every day you negotiate everything. Even we negotiate with our child. You do your homework, I'll give you an ice cream, one ice cream a day or one small toffee. So basically he's doing his homework and you're negotiating on that a small toffee because you know this small toffee might not harm him that much and you are also comfortable. So even this is a part of negotiation. Right? Are you agreeing with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is negotiation. This is, you name it and we negotiated every part of the things. One second. My screen got locked. One second. Sorry, my screen got locked. Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yes, Swati,
Yeah.
you're
Yes, Swati.
Great. So this is how we negotiate. Now, this is one phrase. Trust me, this is very, very, very true. And you tell me if in case you have ever experienced this. It is in personal life and business. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate for. Do you agree with this? You always get only those things which you negotiate for. Now, I'll give you a very personal example over here. Now, what happens? We all, okay, firstly, let me give you a disclaimer to this. We live in an Indian society. There is always that we are being trained by our parents or somebody in a house, in majority of the house, that husbands are always on the superior part. Am I right or am I wrong? We are trained that way. See, it is not right or wrong. I'm not even claiming on that front. I'm just saying this is how the upbringing of our Indian culture is. Now, what happens is when we get married, if suppose your husband shouts at you, okay, you don't deserve that shouting, but you will, if you keep quiet, that continues. So it's if you say at one point of time, see, whatever you're saying is okay, can we talk about it? So you don't get what you deserve. You deserve that not shouting, but you get what you negotiate for. Even in personal life or business life, no matter what, always remember, it's not what you deserve in your life, it's what you negotiate for. Always. And this line, trust me, hits me to the core. I don't know if that hits you to the core, but this is very true in every part of life. So this is one business line also. Now, there are 6 principles of Harvard which says that how do you negotiate well? Okay. Now, the first one is, in the negotiation, you have to first understand that you have to separate the people from the problem. Now, just imagine you're sitting on the table negotiating with somebody. He said something to you, and okay, now just imagine, let's leave that example. Let's take another example. Suppose there is one person who is sitting in front of you. He or she is actually working with you, but for some reason you don't like that person. But you know that this particular deal could be a very beneficial deal for your company. Now, what happens over here, the mindset that you sit with the negotiation is that, oh, I have to win this negotiation. I have to bring good things on my table. But the problem is the deal doesn't happen very beautifully for only one reason, because we consider people as a target people. We try to target only that person. We are thinking about the deal, but at the same time, we are also thinking about that people. How can I win over that person? Are you agreeing with that? Most of the time, most of the people do that. You have to understand, when you sit down for a negotiation, your mindset, your agendas has to be very, very clear. First is, what do you want out of this deal? How it is going to get benefited for you? How it is going to get benefited for your company? What is the future of this? No matter irrespective of things, no matter irrespective of which person is sitting in front of you, you have to separate the problems, because if you're negotiating, there is a problem. So separate the problem with the person and then start talking. Yes, Ashima.
Ma'am, when we talk about problem, are we talking about a personal problem that I have with the person? Like if I don't like the person, as you said, or is it the problem that the person is facing and that's the reason they want to buy my product? Like what is the problem?
Okay, so let me give you an example over here. Let's take an example of a sales and marketing. Okay, now there are 2 departments in the same company. One person's, I'm from a sales and you're from marketing. There is always a tiff between you and me, because I say something else, because I know the ground reality is different. Now you say different thing because you sit in the cabin chair and you have a different perspective towards a marketing. Now there is a meeting which is going on where ultimately the goal of the company is that we have to increase the sales by 50% this quarter basis. Now you, me, the CEO of the company sitting, but because we had the tiff in the future, there is always a clash between you and me. But now the problem is that we have to increase the sale. Now what happens over here is that in that negotiation, my agenda is that my company should get benefited. But along with that, my agenda is also that I should win over you and my words has to be taken care of compared to you. Now, in this case, what happens over a longer period of time, there is always a negative side of it, because we lose at one point of time and we don't realize that at that very immediate moment. We realize it little later. So that is the reason, if there is a problem and you're sitting with that problem to negotiate. Even if you like, dislike, or you're hurt, or you're happy, whatever emotions are you with that person in that negotiation table, you have to separate both the things. You have to separate the person, you have to separate the problem. Does that simplify for everybody? Okay. Now, focus on interest, not position. Now, let me give you an example to it. Okay. There is a story to it. Does everybody like stories? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The story is
Yes.
called as the parable of oranges. Okay. Parable of oranges. Now, what happens is there are two people who are coming from the opposite side and they're going to a cafeteria. Now, that cafeteria, they both are going to buy the last, they're just going to buy the orange. Now, this cafeteria has a one last big orange. Okay. Now, what happens over here is this owner of the cafeteria says, both the customers are my good customers, so I cannot make anybody of them happy because both of them give me business. So what should I do? So what he does is, like, he asks both the people that would I cut the orange into half and I give you half thing? So they said, yeah, I'm okay with that. So he cuts the big orange into half and he gives one orange to this person and another orange to this person. Now, what happens is the person who is, say, for example, a person, what he does is he removes the internal part of the orange and from the outer shelf, he makes a lemonade out of it, or kind of a achar, or that, the jam that we make. He makes that out of it. Okay. And he keep it there only. Now, and the other person is actually, what is he doing? The outer part of the orange he throws away and he makes the juice of the first part of it. And he's making a juice of it. So A is making a jam and B is making a juice out of it. Are you there till
Yeah.
here? Correct.
Yes.
Now, how it would have been so simple. See, you understand, the focus was in the position to get that product. Nobody was interested who was making what. Nobody of either has even asked, what are you going to make? Now, if the A would have said that I just have to make a jam, so the internal portion would have gone to the person B. He would have made the best. He would have made a full glass of juice, where he made a half glass of juice, where the A made a half cup of jam. She would have made a full cup of jam. Because one person wanted the outer part of the orange and one person wanted the internal part of the orange. So that is exactly what we actually do in our day-to-day life. We take care so much of the positions that we don't understand what is the interest in that situation. What is the person asking for? You might not know about it, but nobody bothers to ask because everybody is very position driven. Do you get this line? So always remember, when you're sitting on a negotiation table, whether it is a personal office, wherever, even if you talk to the clients when you work with Herky or any other company, if you're sitting on a negotiation, as simple as that, somebody is coming in front on your table and saying, okay, let's talk business and let's understand what you have to offer to me. You have to understand from that angle, key, it is not me sitting over here at the position that what I can offer to you. It is from their angle to understand that what are they interested to receive. And based on that, whatever I can offer to you becomes a better way of negotiating. Right? This is one thing. 1 second. Somebody has messaged something. I just missed out the reading it. So Dipti says it is better to be united than manipulate. Dipti, this is not manipulation. Manipulation is that you are speaking wrong and you're trying to manipulate somebody by some ways and you're misguiding that person. Here, there is no communication only. They have not even spoken to each other. They are just saying that I am also a very important customer to this client. He is also a very important customer to this client. Oh, I want half because I have come. I have also come. I can't go empty-handed. So now it's a matter of position. How can I go empty-handed?
Okay.
So it is not.
So what you mean is it's better to be open rather than have a a misconception about people.
Exactly. This is exactly what I meant. Better to be open by asking questions, because that's where you get the answer. Right? I hope everyone is agreeing what am I trying to say? Okay. The
Yes.
third, yes, thank you so much. The third one is, yes, Suganti, you have raised your hand. Okay. Suganti, are you going to speak or it's just by mistake? Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, the third important thing you have to always remember in a negotiation skills as you have to learn to manage your emotions. This is where the whole ball games go to a toss. Now, what does that mean? Everything is going fine. You understand that you have to separate the problem from the people. You understand their interest. But this is something that you understand, right? Not necessarily the person who is sitting across the table to you will understand the same thing. Now, you have some drawbacks. Everybody has a drawback. Now, that person is getting irritable and that person just trigger that drawbacks of yours. This is where the whole negotiation, and you're like, no, let's not get into that. And you get a very agitated answer or very agitated way of responding, or you get disinterested, or it could be any kind of negative emotions. Correct? So this is one part where you have to understand that you cannot play with the emotions, because emotion, the moment you don't manage your emotions, you have a fair chances of losing that negotiation. Now let's go back to any of the job or professional or any of the personal front. Just think about it. When you were trying to convince somebody, somebody just triggered your some negative aspect, you got overreacted and everybody started blaming you only. Correct? So you have to learn to manage the emotions. I'll give you one case study over here is that. So there is a company actually in India which was actually getting merger with somebody. Now that company name I don't remember frankly. So what happened was this one company, let's take a company A and a company B. So I think it was related to some hospital. I don't remember the name of the hospital. So company A was actually running out of money and they did not have the money to operate the whole system. So they went to company B and say, why don't you buy me out? They said, okay, fair, we will buy you out. Now, what happened over here is that once first round over, second round over, third round over, financials were okay, everything went absolutely okay. Now, on the fifth round, when the CEO of this company and the CEO of this company were supposed to sit together and have the final agreement, what happened? The person who was selling the company just went on time, but the person who is buying did not turn up on the time. Did not turn up. He did not turn up for 1 day. He did not turn up for 2 days. He did not turn up for 3 days. He did not turn up for 4 days. Then on the fifth day, what happened was he just gave a call through his secretary stating that it is 11:45 p.m. at night. Now I want a meeting to be scheduled with this person at 12:30. You have to come to my place. He went there, believe me, with a very calm face, nothing to take care of. He went with the whole documentation, were well prepared, and he started negotiating. And after the whole negotiation, he said, now my value has increased a bit. For a very simple reason, because you were expected to come before. I know what is the value. After 5 days, even you're coming to me, which means there is a value to my company. Now the value is increased by 100 crores. And the negotiation deal happened. See, that's the power of how you maintain your emotions. And generally that deal happened just on the base of emotions. Because the person, the company A did not lose on emotion front. That's the power, how people take care on emotions, how take care on negotiation. There are different factors to it. Now, the fourth point is express appreciation. Always think that there is always a good point or other part. Just don't get and sit down over here and say, oh, I am the best. I have everything. I am here to buy. I have the money. So I have the whole power to do this. Please don't get into that kind of mindset, because that's where you lose the negotiation skills. Next one is put a positive spin on a message. Always think what is positive for both the parties. And the last one is that you have to always remember is escape from the action to a reaction cycle. Somebody gave you something, you got reaction to it, then he gave you reaction, then again there is a reaction, then there is a reaction, and the cycle continues, and nobody comes on that answers over there. So these are the 6 Harvard guidelines which has been come in the market after lot of descriptions, lot of case studies, lot of things, that these are the 6 main factors. You have to keep that in mind when you sit on the table to negotiate. Okay, any questions by anybody? Did you got these things? I would request you at least try to implement 3 or 4 when you sit on the negotiation table. Are you there with me, everybody? Yes, Mamta.
Yes.
Sure. Now, as you can see, there is a word which is written over here is different approaches of negotiation, right? Can anybody ask me any question over here? Can you think of any question over here? There is one mistake or there is one change that you could do in these 3 words, that is different approach and negotiation. What it could be? Just think randomly.
How negotiation should be done.
How negotiation should be done. Yes, possibly you are getting to the right thing, but just change one word in this. It's kind of a riddle.
Approaches of negotiation.
Approaches of negotiation.
Strategies for
Okay.
negotiation.
Yes, Sharmila?
Strategies for negotiation.
Strategies for negotiation. Okay, fair. That is also correct. Anybody who would like to give a try? Okay, let me continue. So what does approaches means? That there could be different ways. If not this, then this, then this, then this. Correct? Correct? I have not written, if you go to Google, you will always find an answer called as different styles of negotiation. But frankly, I don't believe into the style of negotiation. I'll give you why, the reason. Because when you say a style of negotiation, which means that you are an individual who follows only this kind of negotiation. This is the only style that you follow, because style is a very personal statement. But when it comes to word negotiation, depending on the client who is sitting opposite to you, you have to use different kind of approaches. Sometimes you have to be calm, sometimes you have to be good, sometimes you have to be aggressive, sometimes you have to be on them, sometimes you have to be below them, sometimes you have to be at par them. So there are different approaches that you can follow in negotiation. That is the reason it is different approaches and not the style.
Okay.
So it's for everybody. So it's like that. Okay. Now there are 4 styles of negotiation. This is, see here the word is written style over here. But frankly, I don't get into the word style there because it is different approach. And there are 4 approaches. One is win-lose, one is win-win, one is lose-lose, and one is lose-win. Okay. So there are 4 styles. Now, what is it? Negotiation strategy 1. Now, when I talk about the I win, you lose strategy. Okay. Now, what does that mean? It means that there is a person who is sitting in front of you. He is not even bothered about your profit, your loss, your good, your bad. He is only bothered to get the deal in his favor at par. It is also called as a fixed pie approach. Now I'll give you a case study to it, or maybe a story, whatever you want to call it as. Just imagine there is a local car dealer. Okay, he's there in the market. He has established himself well. Now what he has done, there is some kind of Diwali, or maybe there is some kind of any kind of festival which is coming up. Now he says, okay, I am going to give you a car at a very good price first, and secondly, my interest rates of the car that you're going to buy is also very, very nice. So it's just like 4-5% that you can buy an interest rate on. Now I am the person who goes to that car dealer. I'm very happy, extremely happy with the car. I'm extremely happy. Okay, it's an old car, okay, refurbished car. Now I'm very happy with the car condition. I'm very happy with the person's ambience. I'm very happy with the interest rate that is offering to me. I'm very happy with the car. Everything is absolutely okay. I'm sitting over the table and I'm negotiating with him. You know what? Say for example, you know what, Hasina? If you want to give me this car, I am here to buy right now over here, but you have to change the tires of the car immediately, and you have to extend the warranty period of my car. Now, if you don't do this, I get up from this place and I go. Now, these are some kind of negotiation where I win and you lose. No matter what, they will never think on the other perspective. Now, just imagine a person who is giving you such amazing interest rate in such an amazing condition of the car. Do you think if he changed the tire, because one tire changes between 5 to 6,000, which includes go to 20,000, plus extending the warranty will cost him 30,000 rupees. Do you think it is right on his profit part? But I am not bothered. I am just like, you give me this or I'm walking out from here. And these are the people you will find every now and there in every part of in negotiation. This is where the negotiation, which means I win and you lose. This normally happens with lawyers because they have to win the case no matter what. It happens with a lot of politics. It happens with specifically B2C market area. Why it is B2C market area? Because what happens with B2C, once I walk out of this car, probably I will not look back to this person and say, give me something else with the car. Maybe I'll go and look for another vendor. So at that very point of time, I am the one person who wants to just get that stuff and going done. Right or wrong? Are you people with me? Are you understanding this kind of negotiation strategy, where it is used? Now, this is a mind game. And now, how do you do that? If you know that this is a strategy where the person is sitting with the mindset where he is thinking that he should only win, then it's always good to let go that customer. Because one thing you have to understand in the perspective of business, no business take care without the profit. Not at the cost of the company. You should get the deal there in that business. You should tell that person it's okay, but I can't do. Now, the second one is the negotiation strategy is a lose-lose strategy. Typically, this kind of strategy doesn't happen much in the society, but just giving you an example because it was there in the quadrant. It is a very strategic approach wherein both the side decided to step back and wait before the discussing an issue. Now, either one of the party disagree to negotiate, they avoid to talk or even get into any kind of engagement. Now, this is kind of lose-lose strategy. Now, it is the lowest of the negotiation strategy chart. Normally, it doesn't happen. But if you see this kind of strategy, it is normally, you can see this in a lot of politics. It means that it has low concern and both the parties are, or profits for both the parties are involved. They are looking for their profit. They are looking for their profit. They're not even bothering about each other. And ultimately, both lose the profits. Now, if you get into these kind of situation, if you get into these kind of lose-lose negotiation where you're understanding even you are not letting it go and the other person is also not letting it go. So understand one thing, that if this kind of negotiation doesn't have a very high impact on your business or on your image or your reputation or on you, please by all means, if it doesn't have that kind of thing, please by every means let it go. Don't get into these kind of negotiation because these kind of negotiation will always give you a long-term loss, very high long-term loss. However, if it is very important And it is very, very important that you can't lose, or you can't lose the deal, but you need the deal no matter if there is a loss to it, then please take up. So it's up to you on the call that how do you want to do it. Are you there?
Yes.
Any questions till now? Great.
No.
Okay. Now we have the third strategy, which is called as a I lose and you win. Normally, this is also not seen in today's world, but as it is there, you need to understand there are people who wants to just give in all to you. They lose, but you win. Give in all to get along with each other. The person do this to is the person normally does this kind of activity because they want to be liked or accepted by others. Give in all to avoid conflicts and confrontation. The person gives in to avoid rejections and from other parties. Now, this is just a very simple kind of thing that is there. Don't get too much into it. Now let's talk about the last one, which is a very, very important one, which is there as a negotiation skills. I win and you win. It is the most constructive and the interest-based negotiation. Now let me tell you the story for this as well, or maybe a case study for this. Now what happens over here, it's an IT software company, okay? This is a story or a case study. So there is an IT software company who makes an customized software for every individual. Now there is one telecom giant who is asking this IT software company to customize a particular software for them. Are you with me all? Okay. Now what happens is this company, the telephone company, this company says to IT software company, there is a dead date. Say for example, on 31st of August 2024, this company has to deliver the software to the telephone company. Now the telephone company comes to the IT company and says, you know what, I understand that on 31st of August, you have to deliver me the software, but I want you to deliver this software on 15th of August only. Now, the reason being is there, we have created our strategy. See, I understand there was an agreement between both of us, but internally we created a strategy and we want to start putting up the calling from 20th of August only. Now, I don't know how do you do this, but this is something that you have to deliver me because you have made me a commitment and we are paying you for that. Now, this is a situation. Now, what happens with an IT company is that when you actually give a software, there are a lot of internal teams that works differently and they have a lot of testing, which requires a certain amount of time. Now, IT company has a very, very fair understanding that whatever the telecom company is expecting out of us, it is not possible. Either the software get bounced or the software will not properly perform. Any which ways they will complain about it. So now there is a fix. Now the thing is, this is a very important company and this is also a very important company. Now here the negotiation happens. See, one thing which I have to tell you is that negotiation doesn't happen only on the front of pricing. It happens with other front also, as in terms of the reputation. It also happens in the terms of maintaining the friendly balance. Now what happens over here is that now IT company knows that he cannot do that, just not possible. So they went to a telecom company and said that what is the concern? What do you want to roll out? They say we want to roll out the callings from 20th of people. We have hired the people, or we are going to hire the people where your software will be taken care of. Now they say, see, frankly, you have to understand that we cannot do this. We can only deliver you to 30th of August only. Now, what best I can do over there is that I can give you 5 manpower from my company who would be writing on behalf of your employees, which eventually will get down to the CRM of the company. We will make sure that we infeed that into the CRM of the system. That is our responsibility, but that might take 3-4 more days, but we will give you on 30th. And this was actually where the telecom company did not understood that, okay, these kind of negotiation would also come, and they agreed upon it because they just wanted to they just wanted to have their success. Now this company also got success because they did not got into rush. They did not lose the customer. They did not lose the reputation. They did not emphasize or pressurize their employees. So everything became stable here. At the same time, these people created an image that these people are solution provider. They are going to do a good job. They are giving up a new suggestion, which is very much acceptable to us. And the negotiation happened very well. Now, I win, you win is a negotiation that happened here. Hello? Can you please come on the screens?
Yes, Swati.
Yes, thank you so much. So do you understand these kind of negotiation? Now, when I say the word called as I win and you win negotiation, it is the most acceptable negotiation everywhere. Everywhere it is the most acceptable negotiation. So it is the most constructive. It is interest-based negotiation. Remember the story of interest over the position, the apple, the parables of oranges. This is exactly I win, you win. Now here, the relationship plays a very important role. Second thing I want you to understand that negotiation doesn't necessarily come with the word always money, price, or something related to the trade as in terms of currency. Negotiation could be apart from this also. It could be relationship, it could be managing the reputation, it could be managing the position, it could be anything. So that's exactly a difference between, one more difference between bargaining and negotiation, because in bargaining, the money is highly involved. Money is only actually involved, but in negotiation, other parameters are also involved. So this is about the negotiation. Now, if you understand that if you are the person who wants to actually be a good negotiator, so you have to understand that you have to prepare for the negotiation. Now, how do you get to understand about the negotiation? Right? Without preparation, if you sit down, you can't negotiate. Now, I'll tell you a real case study for this is that there was a study which was done in 1995. Okay, it was done in Chicago, and these people actually had 235 people as a sample people. Out of this 235 people, there were two groups of people which was divided, where both the people were given the same kind of negotiation things, but one group was specifically told that you have to prepare the negotiation based on the strategy, the understanding, and everything that you possibly can think of. And the other group was actually told that you have to just casually go and do the negotiation whenever you have a negotiation. So, and the time was given for both the people were 2 days. So what happened was this A group, which was actually preparing the negotiation, they strategized it. And the group which was told specifically to go very casually, they just went outside and they were just sitting on the negotiation table. Now, on the observation part, it was seen the group A, which was doing strategically, actually converted 11% more on the negotiation part in their favor. So you have to always prepare for negotiation, always. Now, how do you prepare for a negotiation is very important. Now, let's come to the behavioral skills part of it. You understood the functional part of it. There are 4 types of negotiation. You have to apply any one approach. It could be I win, you win, win-win, I lose, you win, or lose-lose. So it depends on the person who is sitting in front of you, what situation you are in, how you have to tackle that situation. You have to adopt that kind of approach, and you have to get out of that negotiation. But for that, you have to first prepare yourself. It's a behavioral side of skill. Now, identify your fear. First, very important fear of negotiation is that somebody who has more money than you, who has a more higher position than you, who has a little more good vocabulary than you get into the fear mode. Arey, how would I talk to them? Arey, how would I negotiate with them? Oh, what will they think about me? How many people have these kind of fear? Even if you can't talk to the relatives sometimes, if they have more better way of living their life, or they have little more money. Do you agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
You take the best crockery out from them because you have to create that kind of image. You have a fear of that image. So identify your fear. What is your fear? Are you fear of money? Are you having a fear of image? Are you having a fear of age? Are you having a fear of the position who is sitting in front of you? What kind of fear are you having? Now, I'll tell you about me. When I started sales, I had a fear of in an age group of 29 talking to an age group of 45. Now, when they used to ask me a question, I'm like, even in the head, in the subconscious mind, I knew the answer. I could not speak up because I was like, oh, am I a right age to speak this answer? What will they think about me? So identify your fear. It is very, very important on the behavioral front. And more importantly, even if you identify your fear, it will be very easy for you to deal a lot of things in your personal life also. What are you fearing for? Now I'll give you a little.
Ideally, the fear is about decision making. How efficiently we can handle and how we can take decisions. Probably while negotiation.
Okay. Now, this is something that you told. Now, let me ask you a very harsh thing over here. Can I do that, Sharmila? Maybe that will help you to take out fear out of you.
Yes. Yes.
Are you a
Definitely.
mother?
Yes.
Were you a mother before you becoming your mother?
No, not at all.
Not at all. So, do you don't think that the biggest fear in the world is to bring up a child? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, every step.
Every step, right? So, the point I'm trying to tell you is that the fear is in the state of mind. You are the best mother for your child. You did not had any experience of how raising a child, but you brought your child to the best of the capabilities of you have. So whatever fear you have that, oh, I don't know if I say I'll do this, how would I able to do that? The fear is in mindset. You agree to it and you work upon it. The problem is that we do not accept the challenges. The problem is that we need to be in that cushioning. The problem is that we don't want our image to get hampered. But what image? Just imagine if you get a better image, how will you feel about it? It's all here. Take care of this right. Nobody is superior than you and nobody is inferior than you. Does that help you to solve, at least get that thing out of you?
Yes.
If that doesn't trigger you, then there is something that you have to really sit down and write. What is that stopping you? Okay, now let's get back to one thing which I would like to tell you when it comes to identifying of fear, when it comes to behavioral skill, is that there is something called as in neuro-linguistic programming. You understand what is neuro-linguistic programming?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
now I'll just ask you one question. Just help me understand. Now you are walking. You say you start walking. Okay. You take 1 round, you take 2 round, you take 3 round. 4th round, you're tired. Correct? Are you tired of the 4th round?
Yes, ma'am.
Who said you that? Your body said or your mind said?
Body.
Body said, brain said. Correct, Diti. So, if your mind would have said that no, we can still take a 1 more round, you would have taken that 1 round. That is exactly the neuro-linguistic programming. Now, let me explain you this. Your brain has to control your body, but the problem with 95% people in the world is the body takes care of the mind. First part of it. Second, identifying your fear means Uh, Emotions, yes, emotions you can also take. Anything that your body takes care of your mind. But actually, emotion is taken care by the brain. So then our second part is identify your fear. Most of the fear has a self-limiting beliefs. Whatever you have heard from your parents, your near and dear one, your friends, your school, your teachers, your parents, your husbands, everybody has become your belief. That's your fear. That's it. If you have come on this platform by thinking 1010 times whether I should get back to job, it is nothing but a fear. Okay. So know, identify your fears. Second one, know your hot buttons, where you get triggered, where you get irritable. That is very, very important, because if you don't know this, it is very easy for the other party that they can actually take care on the negotiation table. If they know that I know this person is going to get hated on this particular word, let's hit the hot button. Let's just hit the hot button. Now I'll give you a very simple example. Anybody of you is from Mumbai by any chance? Okay, no problem. So do you understand the word called as chomu? Okay, chomu means basically bewakoof. You understand? This is a word called as bewakoof. Okay. Now, what happens? This is the bewakoof word. It is a simple lingo word which has been very oftenly used in Mumbai. Now, chomu hai kya? Now, this is a word. Chomu is personally my word, which I don't like at all. I get very triggered out of it. And my younger sister keeps on telling me, "Ye to chomu hai kya?" Now, this is my hot button. The moment she says me chomu na, I get very agitated and I start shouting at her. And she's like, "Why do you always behave like this?" This is a very hot button to me. Now, the moment I say, "Oh, that's her lingo, that's her lifestyle, that's the way she speaks," it doesn't irritate me. So understand what are your hot buttons, where you get irritated. Gather as much as information as you want from the other party or about the other party is the third way you prepare for your negotiation. Are you there with me, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, next part is managing your fears. When you say identify your fears, so these are the kind of fears that mostly we fall into. One is a fear of humiliation. Then we have a fear of failure. Then we have a fear of rejection. We have a fear of abandonment. We have a fear of endless obligations. We have fear of being wrong. We have a fear of punishments. Apart from this, I could not see any fear that you fall into. You have to identify which fear do you fall into, and you have to take a very strong control on that. If you do not take a very strong control on that, even in personal life or in professional life, you will not be a good negotiator. You will always be a person where you are being negotiated by the other person. They will say and you will believe at the end of the day. Do you categorize yourself in falling in any of these?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, Harmit? Harmat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ashima.
Ma'am, failure for me.
Failure for you.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody else who falls into which category?
For me, is being misunderstood, I think, which is
Okay.
not here. Yeah.
Okay. So misunderstanding is basically abandonment, or it could be endless obligation also, or being wrong. Sorry,
Yes,
a fear
being
of being
wrong.
wrong. It's misunderstood. So, subcategory will always be there, but these are the major subcategories.
For
Okay.
me, failure and rejection also.
Now, yes, Radhika.
For me, fear to being wrong.
Okay. Now, okay, let me ask you some questions then. Paramita, it will start with you. If suppose you are rejected, how does that harm you? Are you not getting out of it? Are you not
I shall feel sad, also depressed.
Okay, fair. But are you hungry?
Am I?
No. If you're rejected, do you sleep without food?
No, no.
Do you sleep?
Yes.
Do you go?
Maybe for a long time, late at night, I can sleep. Some repercussion of the event will go on inside my mind. But maybe lately also I can sleep.
Okay. What if suppose somebody has rejected you? What is the maximum harm that has happened to you?
In some cases, monetary, I'm not getting any monetary benefit. Otherwise, I'm feeling sad that I prepared for that and rejected. So, some pain for the failure.
Okay. So some money you're not getting, right? But that is not stopping your life, correct? You're still here at Harki trying to explore a new stuff.
Yes.
So why that fear? My question is, nothing has changed in your life. It's all in the mindset. This is just, I'm trying to say, nothing is going to happen. All these failures are very much temporary. Very much temporary. Don't get into the stuck part of these failures, because you eat, you sleep, you take care of yourself, you take care of your family. Nothing has a permanent things in your life. Nothing is going to happen. Fight the fear. Yes, Dipti. So now the next part is that you have to, once you identify your fear, then you manage your fear, then you have to have a personal preparation for it. Okay. And please, I request all the ladies over here is that please negotiate, please start preparing right from today only. Do you know things about yourself that are true, but that you would not prefer to avoid, that you would prefer to avoid? Sorry. Now I'll tell you, I am fat. Okay, but I prefer to avoid calling it. I want to look like, I am thinking that I am like one Aishwarya Rai only, but that is not true about me, right? But I try to avoid it. I always ask question, am I that fat? So somebody has to say me on the decency way, no, you're not that fat, but the fact is I'm fat. So do you know something about yourself which is absolutely true on the negative side, but you prefer to avoid? Acha, just tell me one thing. Can any of you guess that I am right now, today I'm 40. Today is my birthday. Today I'm 40. At the age of 31, I was.
Oh, happy birthday, ma'am.
Thank you so
Happy
much.
birthday.
Happy birthday, ma'am.
Thank you.
Happy
So,
birthday, ma'am.
thank you so much. Today I'm starting at the age 40. Can anyone of you guess at the age of 31, I was not able to speak English also. I did not know even a single word of English. As in, I was not able to construct the statements also. The thing went true, but I avoided for so many years. The day I accepted, I got the answer to it. What people makes comment about things that you're ashamed or that we try to deny, we say that they are pushing our buttons. Stop pushing your buttons. Identify your buttons. It is very important for preparing on the negotiation, because these are the place where the other person always have a higher edge on you. Always. So this is one thing that you have to always understand, and please start doing this. This is going to help you in your personal life also a lot. Now, tips to remember for negotiation. Always remember that you have to have an objective outcome when you sit for a negotiation. You want money, you want respect, you want position, you want anything that you want. You have to understand what is an object that you want from that objective, from that negotiation. Secondly, you have to understand what is the opposing party wants. What are they expecting out of this on this table? Third thing, always remember, information, knowledge is power. If you do not have the information or the power, you will never be able to be a good negotiator. You should know exactly what are you negotiating for. Have knowledge about it. Don't assume anything. Don't make it personal. Nothing is personal in life. Nothing. Know when to walk away. You should also know at this point of time that if you think this is not going to help me in my business, this is not going to give me revenue, this is not going to give me respect, please have the guts to walk away from that negotiation. Show strong objections to bad faith or negotiation, which means if you think that it is not right, show strong objections for it. Know the levers that you control. It's basically hot buttons for you. Get the terms of agreement in writing. Always remember, when you talk from the perspective of business point of view, get the terms of agreement in writing. Be 100% transparent, clear, and honest when you negotiate. So, firstly, do you have any questions still here? Because we have still things to go ahead with.
No, ma'am.
Are you enjoying the session? Do you understanding what is negotiation? What are different negotiation? How your personal and behavioral part always has a role to play in your negotiation?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Learning new terms, new ways. Like we need to think more about ourselves, where we lack. Yes. So it's interesting and important as well.
Yes, thank you, Soumya. So let me just also tell you that when you talk about big time of negotiation, when companies to companies are sitting, these all things which I have told you when it comes to tips, they actually take care of that. Any which ways you have to believe that the person who is sitting at the CEO level of any company, he has two or things very much in common. The first one is he has an amazing communication skills. Second one is that he has amazing knowledge. For that knowledge only he is sitting there. The third thing is that they have an amazing listening skill. They listen to you by their eyes, ears, and mouth, all three. And the fourth part is that all the people who have reached to a certain position always take care of their emotions very highly. Even if they're just about to burst out in crying, they will never do that. They will still have the smile and walk away. That's the power. You have to have the control on your emotions, and this all plays role in your negotiation. When it comes to B2B, that is business to business, and in B2C also, you just get into your personal life and see wherever you have lost the negotiation, as in terms of even for the respect also, because you got triggered somewhere. You always, even if you have lost a negotiation sitting with your husband also, it's because you became overreactive at certain point of time. Even if your husband has overreactive, you took an edge over it because the emotions were not taken care of. Any questions still here?
No, ma'am.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You can just call me Swati. I'm absolutely okay. Please call me Swati. Thanks, Ashima. Ashima, you have a habit of switching on the camera. Why have you switched off?
Ma'am, because my daughter is here and she's studying and she comes in between and keeps on disturbing.
Okay, no problem. I would love to see your daughter as well. Please switch on the camera. It's always good to see everybody. Dipti, you also come on camera. You come on camera. Why have you switched off? Pallavi, hi. You have been late today. Very late, in fact.
Yes, ma'am. It's network issue.
Okay. So on now the next part comes. You have to understand the prospects. Now, prospect could be not understand from the angle of business to business. Okay. Once can we become better negotiator? I'm so sorry. If you can understand the needs, interest, and pain points of other party. You have to understand what is the need that they're looking for, what is the want, what is the interest, what is the pain point, what am I going to solve, then only you can become a negotiator. Just remember the story of that IT person. The need was they wanted to start a session on 20th of August. The need was that was the interest, that was the want, and that was a pain point because they did not have the software. So how can you do that is an answer for it. Now, how can you do that? The ultimate thing when it comes to negotiator is be extremely in the capital letters, very good with the listening skills. How many of you can say me that you are amazing listeners? And listener doesn't mean I am not. Okay. And listener doesn't mean just what am I saying to you is actually the listener. Listener is the way I behave, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I sit. When you start calculating all this stuff, now you become a listener. That's actually the listening skills. Even if when I'm doing, suppose, okay, I'll tell you one incident that happened with me, which was real to me. Okay, so when I was with a client, okay, when I was working with Narsim Munji, okay, there was one person who actually was sitting around the table with me on the negotiation part of it. Okay, he said, "Oh, your plan of MBA is good, this, that, but it is very, very expensive. 4.5 lakh rupees for an MBA. I went to IM, I went to Manipal, I went to Udemy, Upgrad, XYZ. And I went to Udemy, I went to Manipal, and I actually was talking to somebody from IM. They are giving me amazing deal. They are giving me this, they are giving me that, they are giving me this." So I said, okay, fair enough. But I personally believe that, can you just help me understand what the Manipal has offered to you? Now he could not answer that question. You know why he could not answer that question? Because I traced he was sitting on the negotiation because he wanted more from me, because he had a mindset of I win, you lose. I said, you know what? I cannot give you that for a very simple reason, because I know that you have not been there. You know why I could say that? Because when he said Manipal, he touched his nose 3 times. When he said Udemy, he touched his nose 3 times. When he said Upgrad, he was looking here and there. He could not talk eyes to me. Active listening skills. And there where I had the edge over negotiation, and he got that 4. Yes, exactly. So that's a line. So when you understand, you have a listening skills, you understand the lie, the truth, and then you become a negotiator. Now what happened, I rolled to him on the table, was that I know you have not went to them. Do you not want to talk about our products? Let's talk about it. Let's talk business. Simple. Either you take what I say or you move out. He bought that there itself with the payment of 1.5 lakh rupees. Only by the way he touched his note, I said, you have not lying. You have not even went to Manipal. I can write it on paper and give it to you. Active listening skills. That's the power of it. The problem is, yesterday also I told you that we don't listen to listen, we listen to answer. When you start listening to listen, you will start responding, and the response has much more power than reaction. Body language, yes. And that comes into listening skills, communication skills. Just imagine on the touch of nose, I hold him that you are not the one, and I took the control of the negotiation part. Otherwise, I was giving up. I was telling, okay, I'll give you this, I'll give you this, I'll give you this. But the moment he said that, I hold him and I said, no, this is a negotiation for me. Either walk out or take it. Yes, somebody raised hand. So, Mamta, this is just to give you an example. This is exactly what happens. So, negotiation is just not you sitting on the table. There are 100 of people negotiating. No, negotiating happens just in the smallest way only, but you should know how to listen. That's first thing. Second thing is you should actually start asking right questions. Now, I'll ask you, okay, Ranjita, what do you like? Okay. Ashima, what do you like?
Being happy.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ashima. What do you like in drink?
Okay. I like a fruit juice.
Correct. Anything specific to it?
Watermelon.
Okay. Now, are you understanding? When I said what I like was a general question, so you could have just said anything. So asking right question as in understanding. What exactly I want to understand is asking right question. The problem is when we communicate with the people on the negotiation, we ask very vague questions. What do you want? Array, it could be anything. What do you want out of this deal is a right question. What are your interests towards it? See, this is a financial statement I'm showing you. Now, suppose you are the people, if suppose you all people are coming back on the job after so many months. If suppose somebody asks you, why are you here? You are here to earn money. Oh, how much do you want to earn money? That is the right question. If you say, okay, I want to earn between 50K to 60K a month. Now, if I have a product in my mind or a negotiation in my mind, now I can hit your mind because I know the right answer. I'm not vague. I'm just not wandering around. I'm just understanding what is there, your requirement. And this is exactly the art of asking questions. And then based on that, you have to be attentive listener what they're saying. And based on that, you have to answer. And when you answer properly, you become a negotiator where they undergo and you become on top of that. But still you have a win-win situation. Right?
Yeah.
So this is how you have to do. When you take time to listen to client, active listen to the client, and also you have to understand their priorities, their motivations, their decision making also plays a very, very important role. Now, anything else that you have to understand first here? See, you one skill, whether you don't learn anything in the life, but learn the art of very deep listening skill. Your half of the problem will be solved in life. Even if you listen to your child, you have to listen from that angle. What is he saying? What is she saying? Why is she saying? What is she coming from? When you speak to your in-laws, when you speak to client, when you speak to anybody outside your family, when you speak to your neighbors, speak with that attention. Speak with that intention of understanding them. Trust me, your half of the problem will be solved. I'm telling you out of experience. So did you got the negotiation part? Do you have any questions? Anybody? Was the case studies which I used, was the example, the stories were relevant and trying to get connected and making it more simplified? Does any of the part triggered you to the core? What is that triggered you? Come on, you're not a good listener. I just asked a question.
How to overcome fear.
How to overcome fear. Okay.
Yes.
So that triggered you too much.
Yes.
Will you start doing that, Sharmila?
Yes, definitely. It's nothing.
Please do that.
Yeah.
Yes, Soumya, Shushma. Hasina, Luba, Lubna, Padma, Pallavi. Where are you people? Everybody is
How to negotiate.
how to negotiate. Okay. So what have you taken from this?
Well, need to be more listener. Yeah. So, and listen what actually the client needs.
Okay, fair. Yes, that's your takeaway from here. Yes, Dipti said that she needs to ask the right questions. How to ask the right questions. So I'll give you one tip, Dipti, and to everybody over here is that how do you ask the right question is that you should know what answer are you expecting. Don't determine the answer, but you should know what are you trying to get out of that. So your question should be framed that way.
Okay.
That's one part of it. So let's move to the next part, which is a smaller part of it. How to handle the process. When you say process, it's the sales process, objectively and persuasively. Persuasively means that you people have to believe and they agree to you. Right? So the first one is that the first point is the empathy. Okay. Now, empathy, what is the difference between empathy and sympathy? If I ask you, I'm sure you must have heard this word very clearly.
Empathy means I can understand the problem of customers.
Okay. And what is sympathy then?
To sympathize.
Sympathize is feeling sorry for the situation of the person. Empathizing is putting yourself in their shoes.
Okay, very, very nice. Absolutely right. Can I make it a little more simplificate? Very simple, that might help you to understand this two words very clearly. When you talk about empathy, you always have a solution. But when you talk sympathy, you never have a solution.
It's just on the lip.
Huh?
It's just on the tongue. I mean, it's just on your tongue.
Yes.
From your lip. Yeah.
Yes. So empathy always have a solution. You understand the situation and you give a solution out of it. Sympathy never gives a solution. They keep you into that situation. So get into an empathy mode. Put yourself in the prospect shoes. If you would have been that client, if you had that company, if you had that challenges, and if you are the person who is supplying that, and if you are coming to me, how would you deal to it? What are your challenges? What are my expectations from the other client? That helps to you to be negotiator because you're understanding from their perspective. Right? So it is empathy. Always think empathy because empathy will give you an answer. Understand that objects stem from genuine concern and uncertainty. The second one is at the top, always the important skill, active listening. Always. You need to be excellent listener. Excellent. When a prospect raises a question, listen with ears, eyes, mouth, hand, everywhere. Everywhere. Learn this art. Start doing it from today. I'm telling you, it will still take 6 to 8 months to get imbibe in that skill. Learn from that angle. That it's very difficult to be an active listener. It is very difficult. People don't get into that listening skill only. That's where the whole problem arises. When a prospect raises a question, listen attentively. Their words will reveal motive and fear. Now I'm talking this from an angle of B2B and B2C. Always remember, if you're a good listener now, people always have their fear in their statements only. Oh, I understand, but I would be really interested to think about it. But is only the fear. Now you have to catch that but. What is that but? But what happens as a salesperson is, oh, I'm pretty interested in that, but I will come back to you. Okay, now people take that, I'll come back to you, and they keep on following up, but they don't understand the answer of but is not yet solved. Are you getting what am I trying to tell you? So always when you are a listener, now you understand the motives and the fear and the concerns are in the statements only. In their body language only. If you become very active now, you start getting the answers there only, and you start getting, oh, I understand this could be your concern. Can I talk about it a bit? Say from front. So that will help you. It could be a budget constraint. It could be an implementation constraint. It could be anything, additional feature, X, Y, Z. It could be anything. Right? Now just imagine a negotiator. Now take a sabzi wala who is a negotiator, okay? He says, okay, you have a sabzi, you have a vegetable on the floor, and you say, oh, the budget is 1,000 rupees. Okay, you wanted to buy something else, and he says, and you are like, oh, this will increase my budget. I don't want to really buy. He says, le lo didi, main thoda kam mein laga dunga. He's a listener there, and you buy it on that come because he catch hold your nerves there. He actually became a negotiator there, which you did not realize. ले लो मैं कम में लगा दूंगा. See, you don't need to be educated. You just need to be a listener. So that's the thing. Now, examples, your solution seems expensive. Okay, this is something. Okay, let's talk about some examples. For example, somebody comes and says, your solution seems expensive, your product is expensive. How do you say that as a sales representative? I appreciate your concern about pricing. Let's explore the value it brings. There's a difference between value and costing. Okay, when people have a problem, when people are in the mindset that they want to buy the product, but it's expensive, don't bargain on pricing, bargain on value.
Like the services or the solutions we provide.
Huh?
Like the services or the solutions we provide.
No,
okay.
That's not value. Value is the status symbol. Now say Samsung 54 and iPhone doesn't have much of the difference, but Samsung 64 is 96,000, but iPhone is actually 1,75,000, but people still buy iPhone because they don't talk about the features, they don't talk about the solution, they talk about the status, they talk about the value. See, this is
Brand,
what
yeah.
we get on the value. So
Brand.
remember, huh?
Brand. So the brand comes first.
The positioning come first, the value come first.
Okay.
Brand became later. The value became first. So this is exactly when, always remember, when there is a situation, when there is a pricing war, you don't have to talk about pricing. You have to explore the value that brings on table. Now you just go on. Just remember, if you have gone to buy a shop, I'm so sorry. If you have gone to a shop to buy a sari, say for example, the sari is 25,000. It is out of your budget. The sari, you know, that will, just imagine the sari, you know, at the end of the day is not going to costing the shopkeeper to 7,000, but he is selling that at 25,000. You know why is he selling that? Because ultimately he's telling you, just imagine karo didi, jab aap pehnoge to kitna sundar lagega. Organza market mein hai, kitna sundar work hai, ye work itna intrigue hai. Value. He's selling you the value of that particular product. Out of fashion kabhi nahi jayega. Aap 10 saal baad bhi pehn lo, same to same rahega. Do you hear this kind of statements?
Yeah.
He's not bargaining
Yes,
with you on the price. He has never said you can give you that product on 20,000. But he said you buy at 25 only because it has a value.
Correct.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So see how people actually do that. In day-to-day life, it has been there with you, but we never realize it. Right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
All right. The second one is that, now this is an objection handling. Okay, this is one part of objection handling. If your solution is very expensive, your product is very expensive, so you start getting into the value of it. This is one style of selling or closing the deal or taking care of the negotiation part. You don't talk about the pricing if you don't want to cut down your pricing. You have to start talking about the value it brings to you. Physically, mentally, emotionally, situationally, taking care of your growth, whatever it could be, but you have to start talking of your value. Correct? Now comes to the next part. If you have an objection, now anticipate the common objections and address them objectively during the pitch or presentation. If the sales representative thinks price will be concerned, weave the value from the starting point. Now, for example, is that, now let's take an example of that sariwala person only. You have got into that. He knows his product is 25,000 and it is not for everyone to buy it. So if he understand, okay, you have the purchasing capacity, the way he will treat you from the start is like, pani piyoge? Okay, आपने देखा, देखो ऐसे दिखाते हैं they show you like this, like a flower. Okay, they'll say you organza hai, which is in the market. See the work. They start building that value from the very first statement that they speak, so that it start hitting your mind. That is exactly that they do. See the statements that they listen, understand the statement. Go and buy some jewelry someday. Whenever you go and buy next jewelry, now see how they talk to you. If the salesperson is good, now go to a good salesperson. Ask them who is the star performer of your sales shop and go and be with them. And just see the questions that they ask you. Because they will always start weaving the value from the very first time. The next objection is that called as a preemptive. Okay, this is just a terminology word. If you remember it, well and good. If you don't remember it, it's okay. Just think about the concept. Anticipate the common objection and address them. Okay, this is done. Sorry, this is the next one, which is called as a reframing objection. I'm just again telling you, if you remember the words, it is okay. If you don't, just remember the concept. Turn objection into question. Your product is expensive. Sometimes people would have, really? What made you think that? You only feel humiliated. So they question you on your statement. If you feel your product is worth it and it's valuable, reframe the question. Reframe the objection by asking question. Really? What do you think? Why it is expensive? What particular feature are you looking at? What do you want that I should reduce so that it comes to your budget. Now it's very humiliating, but sometimes this is also one of the tactics to take care of your negotiation, so that it is like you win, they win, but at the same level. Last one is that you have to educate and never defend the people. Always remember that don't make anybody feel low. You have to educate them. Okay? You have to tell them by case studies, by super success stories, by testimonials, by percentage, by growth. You have to tell them why this product is good for you and how it is going to help you. You go to salon, right? And you tell them success story. Oh, this, if you take this protein, what do you call as that protein shot to your hair.
Supplement.
Treatments,
protein,
keratin and all that.
Yeah, keratin and all. See how they sell you. They sell you, oh, this is a testimonial. Unke baal itne achhe ho gaye the. You're educating them. It is going to help you with that breakage of this thing. They will help you in the follicle. Half of the things which I get to know is from salon only. And when you go back, you understand, oh, this is also there in the market. So you educate your customer always. Prospect. Say, for example, this is a situation. Prospect. I am not that your product will help me solve my issue. If a prospect comes and says, yo, no matter what you say, your product is not going to solve my issue, but you don't want to let that client go because you have already invested a sales process with them. You're on the sales negotiation with them. Now you cannot let them go. So self-representative is a great point, sir. Let me walk you through how it streamlines a similar company process. Here, the case study becomes an important. Whatever I'm doing to you, you are saying it is not solving. You have a challenge which is not common in the market. Let's talk about something else in the market who has already helped it. If you want, I can help you with that. So you start giving them the case study. So I'm just trying to tell you some of the examples which I could understand, think of. So I'm just writing it down. So when you talk about the things, when you talk about the objections, you have to understand, you have to give them case study, you have to give an analogy, you have to give them visual aids. You have to tell them about the products, you have to educate them, you have to make them understand how it is going to help you. So these are some of the examples that you can use to be a negotiator. Now, suppose in front of you, somebody is sitting and say, oh, your product is not good, I'm not going to buy. So use case study. Use some type of visual aids, use percentage success, use success rates that people have done that. So these are different kind of things which you can use and be a good negotiator and have the power over the negotiation at that very table. The last one is you have to always understand is that you have to have an art of questioning, which is like you need to know how to question properly. You need to have open-ended questions and you have to felt, found technique, which means a person should have that pinch when you ask question, why this question was asked. Once that person will get into that mode, now they will start answering you properly. Now, don't get into so much of things. It is too much of things. Don't get into that. You just understand certain basic things. Let me just revise that for you. There are 4 types of negotiation. You know, win-win, lose-win, lose-win, win-lose, and lose-lose. Get into the maximum is win-win. How do you get that? Firstly, you have to understand what are your fears. You have to understand what are your push buttons. You have to understand what the perspective or the prospect is all about. Take care of your fear. Uske baad, prepare yourself for that. And then ultimately you have to understand you have to have amazing listening skills to be a good negotiator. You need to have the right questions. Frame your questions here before your question comes out of your mouth. Don't just say it. So on that very note, I finish up my session for the day. Now you tell me, do you have any question? How was the session? What were your key learnings? What did you understand?
My key learning was the statement that stuck with me, that we don't get what we deserve, we always get what we negotiate for.
Does that stuck you?
Yes, that not just professionally, but also in personal life. So yes, only when we negotiate for something, only when we can ask for something, we get it. Otherwise, we may not get it.
Very true. And it is right for both the part in the personal life and the professional life.
Yeah.
You don't get a raise unless you ask it. You don't get a money unless you ask it. You don't get the property half unless you ask it. What else? Come on, there are so many people. We have 28 people.
I have, I want to share something.
Yes,
So,
please.
while negotiating, first thing, what I feel is what we need to know is our business really well, right?
Hmm.
As well as what the, the other, the company or person we are negotiating with, we need to know their business as well. So, research needs to be done well, right? And on top of that, also how we can position ourselves, that is very important.
Yes, very true. And very rightly said, Dipti. This is what you have to done. Any which ways, that is something you have already done. That's the reason you have come to a point of negotiation, because the first sale process is already done.
Yeah, but then after, when we do all these research and all, that also will help us, ask the right question, negotiate properly, and also, whatever rebuttal they come across with, we will be able to answer them. We'll also be preparing all the case studies that, similar case studies, right? So we can do negotiate a little better. But
Yes.
one thing that I really liked is that about the listening skills that you mentioned, right? So we also have to be very like aware and I mean in the moment, rather than thinking that if today it doesn't work, we'll try next time. No, next
Mhm.
time is just not an option. So we have to be really aware. At that moment, I want to crack it, right? So we have to be in the moment. I mean.
Yes, very well said. That's the real fact. Dipti has said the real things. Yes, one more thing I just want to add to Dipti is that in the sales, it is a saying that today is the day that you will have all the deals. So every day is that day only. You never know which is the day where you will have full 2, 3 deals. That gives you revenue. Come on, there are so many people. I want to know what exactly were your key take learnings. How was the session? How was the case studies? How were the stories? What are the new things that you learned? I understand Vaishali, but I wanted to speak up. Vaishali Sharma.
It was a very nice session, ma'am.
Swati is
Uh,
absolutely okay with me.
yes, ma'am.
You can call me Swati, please.
Okay, Swati.
Can I see you, Vaishali, just for 1 minute, if it is okay with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Today's session is completely excellent. Thank you so much. But in real life, if we can follow all the steps for negotiation, then it will be most easy to get success.
Okay. So, Paramita, exactly. Thank you so much, first and foremost. Secondly, one understanding. You don't have to follow every step in negotiation, just follow 1 or 2 steps. In that negotiation, what is important? That's it.
So actively listening and knowing other parties, their knowledge about them. So
Yes.
then whatever the products or services have, try to add value to them.
Yes. It's very important. Now I'll give you a very personal example. You just say, when you deal with your parents whom you know very well, that if suppose you negotiate with them something, what kind of questions or answer they would ask. So you always prepare for that also, na?
My parents are so rigid, I can't negotiate.
But you still prepare answers in your mind, right? My mother could have possibly say this. If I say this, she will say this. Now you prepare the answer for say this also.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the thing. You have to understand from the other person's point of view and then negotiate for that. You prepare for that also. Preparation is very important when it comes to negotiation. What else? Soumya, Deepa, Radhika, are you not speaking for the day? Understand the opposition party. Opposition party? Sharmila, where are you? Sharmila, opposition client would be absolutely okay. Opposition party looks like a politic one in them. Be proactive, listener. Don't take personally. Yes, and no shouldn't be demotivate us. Questioning to understand, face the situation, then fear. Actually, I'm outside. Okay, sorry, the client. Okay, perfect. All right. Any questions anymore? Okay. So okay, so there is a small assignment as a case study, just a few two case studies. There are two case study which has been given to you. Pick up any one case study. No problem, Sharmila. Pick up any one case study, try to think an answer or a solution to it, and just you can submit that. I'll hand over the call to Avneet. Hi, Avneet.
Hey, Swati. First of all, very, very happy birthday to you. And the assignment, there are a few people who have raised a concern about yesterday's assignment that they were not able to put in the profiles. Has anybody else also faced the same problem?
Yes,
Yes,
as I entered the
yes,
link,
myself.
but when I'm submitting it, giving the error message.
Yeah, Paramita, I am aware about your problem. I am asking anybody else who has tried to do the assignment. Could anybody submit, or everybody is facing the same problem?
I face the same problem, Avneet, and I
Yeah,
have
Sharmila,
sent you the
I received
screenshot. Yeah,
your
yeah,
message as
yeah.
well.
Okay,
Anybody
okay,
else
okay.
who has done the assignment and faced this problem, or you were able to smoothly submit it?
I submitted.
You submitted.
Yes.
Radhika, you did not face any problem?
No.
So, Sharmila and Paramita, you can please try again, as there is no, problem with the form. Okay, the form which has been shared as the assignment, there is no problem with the form, dear. So you can, try again once and then see what happens. Okay. And coming to today's assignment, Swati has informed about the case studies. The assignment has already been posted on the by the learning team in your group. Please go through the same. And the timeline for that is till Sunday, 5 p.m. Okay, try to do all the assignments, those who have not attempted yet for the assignments, as we will be having one more session with Swati, but that will be coming in the coming week. Okay, and Monday you will be having the session with another coach on the pitching the right product. Okay, so there will be another assignments with those sessions to try to finish these assignments what sessions Swati has taken by by the weekend. That's why the timeline again has been given for next 2 more days. Yeah, so that's all from our side. And there were great examples, Swati. So
Thank you so
keep
much.
keep these examples flowing, and I always see the smiles which come on the candidates' faces when you talk about these examples. So thank you very much, Ashima. Thanks for that approval with the nod.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And Hurmat, you can connect with me. I'll guide you how to look at the other assignments which have been posted earlier.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Have a lovely evening ahead. Enjoy your birthday. And all of you, please enjoy your weekend. And but do your
Complete the
assignments as well.
Sure,
Thank you
ma'am.
everyone so very much. Have a lovely weekend and see you on 31st of July.
Yes, and
Yes,
Swati's
ma'am.
next session is on 31st, but you have next session planned on 29th as well with another coach. Yeah. So do join on time. Ladies, please get used to of clicking on the session link which has been provided in your email IDs and hit interested. You will automatically get the link to join the session.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. It's a very small, smooth process. It's not very difficult.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, Avneet. Thank you, Swati.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Happy birthday.
Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
birthday,
Thank you,
Swati.
Swati.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for the session.
Uh,
And now I able
bye.
to submit the assignment too.
Oh, great. That's nice, Paramita.
Yes.
Avneet, I have a
Yes.
doubt.